500 birds, a farm in Kwara State, Nigeria, and I haven't been there in over a year. I'm sitting in England. The farm is 5 hours outside of Lagos. And right now I can tell you exactly how many eggs were collected yesterday, how much feed is left, and what the current cash balance looks like. Without making a single phone call, by the way. That was not always the case. For a long time, managing this farm remotely meant hoping someone will remember to update the spreadsheet that nobody was using, or waiting for someone to respond to WhatsApp messages that might arrive at midnight. This video is about how that changed, not a technical build. I'll cover that in a separate video, but the actual human story behind it. What the farm is, who is involved, what it was like before, and what a functional remote setup actually looks like now. Quick context, because this is probably not what you were expecting from an AI automation channel. GLU Farms is a poultry operation in Kwara State, Nigeria. We currently have over 500 birds. The goal is to scale it to 5,000 within the next 18 to 24 months. The business is built around egg sales, but we do meat production also. It's a family business in structure. There are 5 co-owners, including me. We each have a financial stake in the business, and the day-to-day operations are managed on the ground by Dr. Ajiboye, who leads the operational side of the business, and Mr. Are, who is a primary farm worker and leading other farm hands in doing the daily work. Feeding, recording, managing the birds, all that. I manage it from the UK remotely. That was always the plan, but managing remotely only works if you have a way to actually see what is happening on the ground. And for a long time, I didn't. Before we sorted out the system, we had a Google Sheets tracker. I built it. It had all the right columns: egg production, feed costs, sales, health records, capital contributions from each co-owner. And on paper, it was a solid system. But in practice, Mr. Are couldn't use it. He manages everything from a basic Android phone. He doesn't even have a Google account. Setting one up, training him on how to use Sheets on a phone with variable internet connection was a non-starter. So the daily data that should have been going into the spreadsheet was not going in. The co-owners were not using it consistently either. Logging it to a shared spreadsheet to track capital contribution means that you know which sheet to find, you know that the sheet is current, and trusting that nobody has accidentally changed something. Most of them didn't just even bother. So in practice, anytime somebody wanted to know something about the farm, they messaged me, and I opened the sheets. I tried to find the current figure and relay it back. I was the bottleneck, and I was doing the work that a system should have been doing in the first place. There was also the problem of data integrity. The shared spreadsheet that multiple people can edit and mostly don't is not a reliable record. We don't know if the last entry was from this week or 3 months ago. We don't know if someone has accidentally changed the formula. The data was there in theory, but in practice, it was shaky. So I set out to build a system that handles all of this. I want to focus on what each person actually uses on the system, not the technical stack. I would go through the technical build in a separate video. If you want that detail, I will link it in the description when it is done. Mr. Are, the farm worker, uses a PIN-only URL. He opens a link on his phone, enter the 4-digit PIN, and he's on a single page with one job: log today's data. That's it. Feed consumed, eggs collected, and any issues that may have arisen on the farm. No login, no account, no password to remember or reset. 3 minutes in the morning or in the evening, and done. The co-owners log in with email and passwords. When they open the app, they see a dashboard with the current state of the farm, flock size, recent egg sales, P&L summary, everything, any alerts that they need to be aware of. Their capital contributions are also listed clearly. They can look at the week and monthly reports. They don't need to ask me for any of this. I use the full system. I can see everything everyone has logged in. I can see the bank reconciliation. I can see sales history. I can see health records. If something looks off, a drop in egg production, a health alert, an unusual expense, I see the same date is logged from my end. What's changed at the human level is that everyone now has direct access to the information that is relevant to them. Mr. Are does not have to worry about a system that he cannot use. The co-owners don't have to chase me for updates. And I'm not the human relay in the middle of every information request. If this is useful, subscribe. One video a week, all practical, no hype. So, what did this system enable? The clearest way I can say it is that I now know what is happening on the farm in real time, and I didn't have to ask anyone. First batch of laying birds hit maturity last month, and I watched the first egg sale come through on the app. I can see the quantity, the price per crate, the buyer. I didn't need to wait for a message, it was just there. The other thing this enabled is the accountability without friction. When every data point has a name and a timestamp attached to it, who logged it, when, then there's no ambiguity. If something is missing, it is clear. If something was logged incorrectly, it is traceable. This is not about distrust. It is about having a reliable record that everyone can see. We've also stopped having weekly what's going on meetings or phone calls that used to happen every day or every 2 days, once a week, because nobody had a clear view of what was going on. That call existed because the system was not doing its job. That no longer needs to happen. The scale up to 5,000 birds is now plannable. We can actually see the path to 5,000 birds because we have real data, real cost, real revenue, real usage. We can model what that scale up actually looks like. Before this, scaling with unreliable data will have just been guesswork. I did not expect to be talking about poultry farming on an AI automation channel, but this is a real example of exactly what I do. Find a system that is breaking down, understand who the actual users are, and build something that works for them. The Google Sheet tracker looks reasonable, but it didn't work for people who needed to use it. The app works because it was designed around actual humans that are involved in the farm, a farm worker on a basic smartphone, co-owners who are not technical, and me managing from another country. If you want a technical walkthrough, the stack, the build, the cost, I will make a separate video and I will link it in the description. If you're running a small business and you've got data flow that sort of works but mostly relies on someone manually chasing everything, then this is what's looking at. That's the kind of thing that is fixable. So that brings us to the end of this video. Subscribe. Please don't forget to watch the full technical build if you're interested, and I will link it in the description as soon as I create it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.